Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever you want to call it. Greetings, salutations to everybody. No, this is not a ghost. This is Tosin. I am back. Life has been lifing, but I hope everybody's doing well. What's good? How's everybody doing? Before we get into this, I need you guys to do me a huge favor. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe on the Shirtless Plantain Show's YouTube channel, on our Instagram, on TikTok. I'm sorry. I've been out. I've been doing a lot of things with life. Life has been lifing. But for those who don't know me, I'm Tosin, one of the hosts of the Shirtless Plantain Show. I'm the Manchester United fan. The rest of them are Arsenal fans. They did their own thing. Please listen to the Arsenal editions that are out now. This is a Manchester United edition, and we're going to talk about Michael Carrick. And I've been thinking about Michael Carrick for a very long time. As you know, I've been watching the games over the last month, 2 months. And initially, when Ruben was going to get fired, I was asking our group chat, who do you want to replace Ruben? Immediately, it was Michael Carrick. And I've loved Carrick as a player since his days at Tottenham. Obviously, if you watch enough football like I have throughout my life, you know he was a stalwart at West Ham. You know, that's something that we'll get into. But I have 5 points to make. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I might not even do 5. I'm making points, okay? But my hands do work. I'm not AI like somebody else's leader. But that's neither here nor there. But I'm a real person, okay? So we're going to talk about Michael Carrick. We're going to talk about what's going on with Manchester United and should he get the job permanently. So my first point to tell you guys is that there's a lot of cliches in football, right? Or he just gets it, or he just understands it. They're cliches for a reason, but Michael Carrick literally just understands Manchester United Football Club. He was brought in to replace Roy Keane. So for those of you who do not understand Roy Keane's beef with Michael Carrick or Roy Keane's beef with Manchester United, I'm going to break down a little bit of history for you. Roy Keane fell out with Sir Alex Ferguson in 2005. And two massive egos. Roy Keane's arguably the greatest Irish football player to ever play. Sir Alex is the greatest football manager ever. Two egos, right? Roy Keane was the emotional leader of Manchester United. He was the physical leader. He was the man at Manchester United, right? And Roy Keane is not a shin kicker, whatever people want to call him. He was a supreme football player. That was a talented football player. Ask the Dutch in 2002. Ask Juventus in 1999. There's so many just great times that Roy Keane's had in his career. So when Roy Keane fell out with Sir Alex Ferguson in 2005, issues started, obviously. They sent him to Celtic, whatever. It's not been kosher since. Who replaces Roy Keane in 2006? Michael Carrick, number 16, same as Roy Keane. Two midfielders, different beast, same animal. However, with that said, Roy Keane is very loud, very boisterous. Michael Carrick is very subdued, very understated. So the real issue now for me to bring all this back is that Michael Carrick, to the cliche, understands pressure. He understands Manchester United. He gets what it means to play for this club because he wasn't really liked. If you want to Google right now, Michael Carrick, 2008, 2009 message boards, right? You'll see people were not feeling Michael Carrick the way they feel him now. He was just not loved, So that's the first point I want to make is that Michael Carrick understands pressure. He gets Manchester United Football Club as a player. He coached with Oli. He also captained the team, vice captained the team. But Michael Carrick has a very interesting career, which leads into the Manchester United's lore about academy. He is a West Ham Academy graduate. This is a club at West Ham that has some of the most ridiculous, English talents of all time. We talk about Bobby Moore, Jeff Hurst, Trevor Brooking, Rio Ferdinand, Frank Lampard, Paul Ince, Joe Cole, Jermaine Defoe, Glenn Johnson, Declan Rice, Mark Noble, Michael Carrick also graduated from there. John Terry was there for a little bit. There's a lot of talent at West Ham. Michael Carrick was one of the ones, and he also won the FA Youth Cup. At Manchester United Football Club, academy is huge. And Michael Carrick also understands that as well. So there's these little things that Michael Carrick just understands, right? He might not have the managerial nous. He might not have like the sexy trophies on the list. Obviously, we'll talk about his Middlesbrough time, but Michael Carrick as a player has also experienced loss. He has played for a West Ham team full of talent with Jermaine Defoe, Paulo Di Canio, David James, Frederick Canute, Les Ferdinand. And they all got relegated in 2003. He spent a year in the Championship, or back then known as the First Division. He went to Tottenham, another loss, right? You go to Tottenham and, spent 2 years there, went to Manchester United. But Carrick has faced the highs and the lows in his life, right? So that's my second point, that he understands the academy. He understands pressure. And here's my third point about Michael Carrick. And we look at the squad of Manchester United right now. Everyone wants him to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Excuse my French. But if you look at this Manchester United squad, it was hamstrung by Ruben Amorim's dedication to a back three. They didn't get the best out of most of those players. What Carrick did immediately was come in and switch to a back four. And this is a good Manchester United squad, not a great squad, not an elite squad. It's good enough to be top four. It's not quite there yet. There's certain holes that's missing, right? When you look at the left wing, when you look at the center midfield options, it's dire straits. So I see people saying, oh, why can't he rotate the attack? Or why can't he do this? Why can't he do that? You're only as good as the ingredients you have, and Carrick is making a hell of a meal with the limited ingredients that he has. He has Cunha playing the left wing, which is not Cunha's best position. He can do it, but he still has Cunha on the left wing. He has, in the midfield, he has Kobe Mainoo and Casemiro. Casemiro's on his last legs, but somehow Casemiro is still doing it because he's an all-timer. Kobe Mainoo is a special talent. Lenny Yoro is coming for the injured Lisandro Martinez over the last 4 games. Lenny is a stalwart talent. Harry Maguire, he's been amazing. Luke Shaw's been showing up. Dalot finally looks good. Instead of playing the left wing, he's doing his thing at right back where he naturally is. Stunning Lamont, he's been a solid goalkeeper. Shesko's coming off the bench or doing his thing. And Mbeumo hasn't really been firing lately, but Mbuemo's been doing his thing as well. You also have Ahmad on the right wing, which is doing well for himself as well. And then even before he got hurt, Patrick Dorgu was looking spry under Michael Carrick. So the point I'm trying to make is that Carrick is making the best out of this squad. And Man United do need upgrades. Like I said, left wing, do you get Iliman Ndiaye? Do you get Yandi Amande? Someone needs to make that call. You look at the midfield, like I said, it needs upgrading because Ugarte is probably not going to be here next year. But Michael Carrick's done what Ruben Amorim hasn't done, which is put players in positions that make sense. Like I said, giving them clarity. My perfect example of this is Manchester United against Aston Villa, right? In December, we lost to Aston Villa. Lenny Yoro was playing wide right center back. He didn't look good doing that. Now at Old Trafford, you look at him against Ollie Watkins, and it's like, whoa, this is a whole new player. But that's because the manager gets the best out of your players. My final point is that Manchester United is an impossible job. It is not an easy job to do. United have tried everything since Sir Alex Ferguson has left. Every system, every profile, every just random nationality of a coach. Ownership is always going to be the big issue of Manchester United. I've been banging on this drum since 2005, 2004. The Glazer family is not good for Manchester United Football Club. Ineos is coming with their own issues as well. But the biggest thing Manchester United need to do is continue to get the recruitment. They've got a new analyst in. They've got people that do well with AI. They got people who do well with numbers. They're getting the recruitment right. Vivel's there. Jason Wilcock's there. So they're getting people in who understand how to recruit. Because a few years ago, United would have done some nonsense, like bought Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez, but instead they got Mbeumo, they got Sonny Lamans, they got Benjamin Sesko, and they got Matheus Cunha. And you're starting to see, wow, things are shifting. Slowly but surely, it's shifting. But back to Manchester United being an impossible job. It breaks people. Look at Ruben Amorim. He lost his mind with the amount of media he had to do. Look at, what's his name? Eric Ten Hag. He did not realize how physical the Premier League is. And it goes back to what I'm saying. Michael Carrick just gets it. He played in this league. He is an Englishman. He understands his league in and out. He gets what is going on here. But this sort of job at Manchester United Football Club is more than just it's a different beast. Like, this is a job where it's not the same as any other job in England, right? It's one of these jobs that, I'm just looking through my notes, excuse me, but, it's a job where, like, it'll catch you off guard. It's not Chelsea, it's not Man City, it's not Liverpool. It's different in Barcelona, it's different in Bayern Munich. It's maybe similar to Real Madrid. Real Madrid don't play in the Premier League, so there's a lot of pressure with this job. And it takes a certain sort of person to be stoic, to be calm, to check your ego at the door, to realize that you're much bigger than the program. You steer the ship, obviously, but you don't want to throw your players underneath the bus. You don't want to make your players feel like as if they're alienated. And that's something that Carrick is doing. You see him when he approaches Benjamin Sesko and how Sesko feels alive, how Sesko loves him. And there's players who aren't playing, but they're still fighting for the coach. They're still fighting for this because that's what this club needs, is good man management. Yes, you need good tactics. Yes, you need good profiles of players, but you need somebody who truly, truly is a good man manager. Again, you can't be fragile at this club. You got to be stoic, selfless. You got to be very thick-skinned. Even Michael Carrick's own teammates were throwing him underneath the bus. Gary Neville, Nicky Butt, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, even Patrice Evra. Patrice Evra said it the best, though. He said about former players getting into management, most of these guys get into a job and they get fired straight away. I said to Neville, it's easy to talk on TV. When you were at Valencia, they asked you for paella and you gave them fish and chips. Gary Neville has not coached since Valencia because he knows how hard this is. So when I see them piling on to Michael Carrick, I'm like, bro, why? Hey, you know how hard United is. You know how harsh this is. You don't need to do this. You have his number. I know you have his number. Talk to him on the side. You don't need to do this, but that's what they're doing nonetheless. But Carrick is stoic and he doesn't care. He just wipes it off his shoulders like it is what it is. But one thing I do want to talk about is the fans and the media. They've been putting a lot of pressure on Michael Carrick, a lot more higher standards versus Ruben Amorim. So you mean to tell me that an interim manager is getting way more press, and way more push, and way more higher standards than somebody who said Man Utd needed to suffer? Fair enough. But Carrick has handled everything with class. Every press conference, every touchline moment, he's just been composed. He's been clear in his message. He's been confident. And for me, my final point is, should he stay? I'm going to talk about his Middlesbrough time, because at Middlesbrough, he made some mistakes for sure. I want to read some of my notes that I had about Middlesbrough, because some of these things, right? He got hired October 2022. It's a roller coaster, right? He came in with immediate impact. He won his first 4 out of 6 games. They turned around. They finished 4th place. He was 21st. They were 21st when he took over. They took him to the playoff semis. They lost to Coventry in the second leg, and it was a goalless draw in the first leg. But he was able to get them, to where it needs to be. He was playing a 4-2-3-1, and he was very good with play development. He coached Chuba Akpom, who scored 28 goals. He coached Morgan Rogers, who's apparently, you could argue that he's Aston Villa's best player. And the last 2 seasons that, at Middlesbrough, he wasn't able to get, what he needed to do. If they finished 8th in 2023-24, 10th in 2024-25, eventually he was let go in June 2025. The results were inconsistent, and the fans were just frustrated because it seemed like he didn't have any plan B in his tactical approach. But here's my thing on Michael Carrick, what he's done differently at his time at Manchester United. Hiring Steve Holland was an amazing decision. Steve Holland is very, very tactical. He knows how to coach out of possession. He knows what he's doing because he's Premier League proven. He's done this with Chelsea. He's hired Jonathan Woodgate, who's also was a stalwart at Middlesbrough. He did so well that he ended up getting a move to Real Madrid. Did it work out? Not really, but he has that experience. He has Johnny Evans, who understands the club. He also hired Travis Binion and got a new goalkeeper coach. So United and Michael Carrick have realized, especially Carrick, hey, I made some mistakes in Middlesbrough. How can I fix this? How can I get to a new place? So my point is, Michael Carrick, should he get the job? I'm looking at the people that they have to replace him: Unai Emery, Andoni Iraola, Glasner, De Zerbi, Julian Nagelsmann. It's very easy to throw out these names, right? You're doing very well at a mid-table club, but like I said, Manchester United is a different beast. You can be the tactical genius or you want to be, like Julian Nagelsmann's a great tactician. But do you have that gravitas to coach a club like Manchester United Football Club? Do you understand the beast that is Manchester United Football Club? I'll be honest, none of those guys on that list is moving me, point blank, period. If Carrick doesn't get the job from me, it should be Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique was a Spanish international. He's won 2 trebles, one with Barcelona, one with PSG. He's a very tactical guy, very personable guy. And I do think Julian Nagelsmann is gifted tactically, no question. But again, my question is, can he fit into this? Because what Man United are doing now is no longer you're a manager of the club. You coach the club. There's recruitment ahead of you to find the players, to buy the players. So does he have the presence? I'm not sure. Michael Carrick, my last thing, for me, it's simple. Deserves his job. The running is brutal. That's coming up, right? United got Bournemouth on the 20th, Chelsea, Brentford, Liverpool, Forest, and Brighton. It's not going to get any easier. But there's one thing about Michael Carrick, throughout his career, that he's shown us as a player and now as a coach. When the occasion comes, Carrick rises. United lost to Newcastle. Immediately came back with a 3-1 win against Aston Villa. Now United are 3rd in the table. If you had told United fans back in October, November, that you're going to be 3rd in the Premier League, they would have bit your hand up for it. And a club legend doing that at that, your former captain who's won trinkets on trinkets on trinkets, yeah, this is the sort of stuff of dreams that you think about, right? Carrick is somebody who understands the academy. He's always watching U21 games, U18 games. He's also watching the other games because his son's also in the academy, Jace Carrick. So this is a guy who has zero ego. Even Rio Ferdinand said it on, on one of his rants that Carrick is somebody who loves to party, and that's the only thing that gets him happy. He's seen Carrick, when United haven't won trophies. He's seen United when they won trophies. Carrick is only happy when he's dancing, apparently, according to Rio. So my 2 cents is this. I love Manchester United Football Club. Been a fan for over 30 years. Get the recruitment right. Man United could possibly be the first English team to win the Premier League title with an English manager. Wouldn't that be cool? Like I said, I'm Tosin. Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Everyone take it easy. Peace.